I was coming around the hallway and Cindy's right behind me. She starts screaming, "He's got a gun!" Kidding, and they had it. No.
Ronald Burdette, husband, father, and the image of a devoted family man, is arrested after his wife Cindy is found shot dead in the chest and their daughter Holly shot in the neck, barely clinging to life. And in an unforeseen twist, Ronald learns his daughter lives to tell the horrifying story.
Did you see where she was hit?
I did.
In the neck.
Oh my God.
There was a lot of blood in her room, and when I saw that blood, to be honest with you, I was like, this girl's probably not gonna make it.
Oh my God.
But what darkness could twist a home into a slaughterhouse? On May 15, 2022, just before 5 a.m., Shively police in Kentucky received a chilling call from Cindy Burdette's sister. Her niece had phoned in terror, claiming her father had just shot her mother. Officers arrived to find Cindy lying lifeless in the hallway. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Moments later, two 12-year-old twins, Holly and Gage, burst from the home. The daughter, bleeding from a gunshot wound, rushed to the ER. The suspect was identified as Ronald Burdette. Within 24 hours, he was captured in Jeffersonville, Indiana. As detectives sat him down for questioning, they had no idea just how much darker this case was about to get.
I'm Sergeant Allen. I'm with Shively PD. This is Detective Kuzma. He's with Shively PD as well.
I'm impressed on how quick y'all showed up. I ain't real comfortable. My wife's dead, my daughter's shot, and I did it, and I'm having a bad day, man.
I get it. Let's start with what escalated to this early this morning. If you just kind of want to run me through what
escalated has been like 5 years in the making. When you be in love with her so much.
And we're talking about Cindy, right? Is Cindy short for, is it Cynthia? Is it
Cindy.
Cindy.
But she was my Cinderella. That's what she was.
I had seen that in the house a few places, so I didn't know if it was short, if her name was actually Cinderella or
you see
just a
inside
nickname.
the Hell House is what you saw. But I tried to spread as much love as I could. That's all I wanted was love and happiness and functional normalcy. It's all I ever wanted. But I couldn't get it. I never could get it from her.
So what brought things to a head this morning? What was the tipping point?
Man,
Because this was around what, 2:30 this morning?
I believe so.
So were you all asleep?
No, we wasn't asleep. We were still up.
So y'all were still up. Kids were asleep, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, I think they were asleep.
The home was a hell house. Bullet holes marked doors and ceilings. Shell casings covered the floor and blood soaked the carpet. A shattered curtain and a bullet hole through the window indicated the violence had spilled outside. The scene told a story of a sudden, explosive attack, one that left Cindy dead and Holly fighting for her life. As Ronald continues to speak, the nightmare inside comes to life.
What happened between you and her that led to?
Well, her phones has got some shade going. They be putting, somebody's got an installed message app on it as to where they can edit like the contact to make it look like it's somebody legit, but she really talking to somebody else, you know what I'm saying? You guys would have to go over the phones to see what I'm talking about.
What's her phone look like?
It's a red one and a black one that was in the car.
Is her phone in the car then?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay. And there was a phone there that had a cat
That's
as a screen, so that's your phone.
That's my phone. I forgot my phone.
Okay.
But
So I guess, did you see something in her phone or?
You know, I've seen many of things. I'd rather have it in front of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't. We gotta go through a process to get all that. So did you all? What happened after that? Did you get an argument, or?
I mean, it's always an argument.
What?
I could tell her I love her and she'd get mad.
But this morning, like what made you believe there was somebody in the house? Tell me about that.
Man, just because you know, Mom was gone, man. But she would not do anything to make me feel comfortable and didn't care to. And when I've seen her phone back in August of last year that caused me to leave and go to my family's for one night, and she called me and got me right back. That was when I was trying to let go of this dysfunctional situation. I always told her, in love, be in love, feel love. Love ain't just a word, it's a feeling. And I was missing it. My heart broke all the time missing it. And tell me you love me, but bite me while you're doing it, man. Just finding proof that she is having an affair. I told her. And then the night before that, I mean, she wants to be mad at me because I don't trust her completely. Instead of reassuring me and giving me that security that I give her, that I deserve. And so my heart bleeds some more. And just my heart just stays. I've been suffering with heartache, living with her for the last 5 years at least.
So did y'all get in any kind of physical altercation this morning?
No, it wasn't physical. The only thing I did do was take her wedding band.
Ronald accuses his wife of infidelity without a shred of proof. To detectives, it feels less like truth and more like a convenient attempt to smear the victim. It reads like a calculated performance meant to lessen his perceived culpability. But then, out comes the heart-wrenching confession.
At what point, I guess, just tell me, like, what led to the first shots being fired? Like, what took place?
I didn't even mean to. It's just like a blur.
Were you standing close to her when it happened?
I was coming around the hallway and Cindy's right behind me. And instead of her reassuring me it's okay, she starts screaming, "He's got a gun." And I'm thinking that she's letting maybe whoever could be hidden in the attic know. So I'm terrified that he might kill me, you know what I mean? Because if that was going on, that's dangerous, obviously.
So did you have, you were both awake, right? You said.
Yeah.
So did you have the gun out that whole time?
My gun stays underneath the mattress right beside me.
So at what point did you go grab it from under that mattress?
When I heard the noise, it sounded like it came from the attic.
Okay.
And then as soon as I said that, Cindy said, "No, that was Holly something." I'm like, every time it's any kind of noise, I'm not really excited about it. But when you want to hurry up and try to confirm what the noise was, why are you doing that? It's like you are trying to hide something. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm in my home. I'm safe in my own home. Ain't I, mama? But she wouldn't even give me that satisfaction.
So you went into, so I guess you grabbed the gun and then went into the hallway?
Yeah. And it's just a blur from there. Did
the
I don't even
When you
remember
shot
freezing.
Was it her that the first shot happened?
No, Holly got hit
First, before?
Yeah, before her.
How did that happen? Can you tell
That's when I was just going that way to see what the noise was. You know, that's all. But the way she was acting, she was screaming and acting crazy like, you know, I know it makes it look like I'm crazy as hell. But they're shade. She's got her shade trees, and I know it. If she wasn't shady, this would never happen. It would never happen.
So when you walked,
But I just remember, I don't know.
Did you walk from the living room towards Holly's room?
Yeah.
What
I would have never shot Holly. God, I'm gun safe. Why would I shoot my own daughter? But it don't make sense. That's what pissed me off when that accidentally happened. It pissed me off, and then I freaked. And then I turned around and it popped again.
So after Holly, is that when you shot Cindy? Yes. Is that right, Ronald?
I didn't intentionally shoot either one of them, but yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to get the order down. So it was.
I know it don't make sense, but.
Ronald's story unfolds like a horror movie. Convinced someone else was inside the house, he grabbed a gun, walked down the hallway, and opened fire, shooting his daughter in the neck and Cindy in the chest. And the excuse Ronald gives next exposes his true nature.
So Holly, and then when Holly got shot, was Gage, did he get up at that point, or do you remember?
I'm sure he did, you know.
When did you remember first seeing him? After all this happened?
After Mama got here.
Okay. Was he in his room? Or did he come out of his room? Was he sleeping in his own room, I guess?
Yeah, he came out.
Did he come?
He was panicking, God bless.
Did he come out? Did he see Mom down?
I'm sure he did.
What did you talk to him about? I know you said something about, you asked him where he was, or.
I asked him, I said, does Mama have somebody in the house, Gage? And he said, either in the closet or in the attic.
Okay. And remember I told you we would talk about that.
Yeah, so I did put rounds.
Yeah. I saw some up like where the attic door was.
Yeah. And in Gage's room. Yeah.
What about the closets? Do you remember putting rounds in the closet?
I think I did. I was hysterical thinking somebody was in the house.
Well, there were rounds in Gage's closet. There was a round in the closet in the hallway. And then there was a round in the kitchen closet where the water heater is. So Gage, and God love him, he's a smart kid. He is a smart kid. He said the reason that he told you the attic or the closets is because he was trying to just occupy you and keep things, keep you from doing anything.
12-year-old boy.
Because we asked, I said, he kept saying, where is he? Where is he? And he didn't know what you were talking about. And so he said the closet.
Oh my. So there wasn't nobody upstairs.
No, nobody was there.
Jesus Christ. It's her fault for not making me know I was secure. It's her fault. She would not look me in the eye. She would laugh at me. And that ain't funny. It's not funny. I just wish I walked. Wish I could have been gone before it happened.
Do you remember, so at what point did you decide to leave, or like when you left, where were the kids?
Gage was still there. I panicked. I was going to call 911. And I don't know. Everything's a blur. It's just a blur. I was just running. I don't know. After all that happened, the shock of it was just overwhelming.
When investigators searched the crime scene, they found nothing to support Ronald's story. No footprints, no forced entry, and no intruder hiding in the attic or closets. Ronald even fired at his son Gage, but missed. Gage had desperately invented the story of an intruder to distract his father. Though his actions likely saved him, they were not enough to prevent the deaths of his mother and sister. Ronald blames his wife for his insecurity, suggesting her actions justified his murderous rampage. Detectives then reveal the haunting condition in which they found his daughter, Holly.
I told Gage to call 911. My phone was in there.
But they're 12, so they kind of panicked. And we didn't end up getting there until almost 5 o'clock, so Holly bled all the way to 5 o'clock.
Oh my God.
And to be honest,
God, Gage could have got on his computer.
Well, they ended up getting on a tablet or something. Somehow, because I guess they didn't know the phone was in there, and they didn't want to step across Mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, she was lucky, because did you see where she was hit?
I didn't.
In the neck.
Oh my God.
And there was a lot of blood. There was a lot of blood in her room, and when I saw that blood, to be honest with you, I was like, this girl's probably not gonna make it, when I saw how much blood was there.
Oh my God. I am so grateful Holly's alive. I wish Mama was too.
Yeah, man, walking probably would have been the best thing. But I know you said you loved her and you tried to make it work.
I just was so in love, I couldn't let go, and that's where it's got me.
So when you left, where'd you head to? Did you head straight over here? Did you drive around for a while, or?
I drove around. I don't know how I wound up in Clarksville, to be honest with you, or wherever I was at. What was it? Quality Inn or whatever, wherever I was at.
Where was that? Was that in Louisville or over here?
Over here.
Oh, okay. So you went to another hotel before you went to this?
No.
Oh, okay, this is the only hotel you went to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I got the name of it wrong.
Yeah, I think it's something.
I just was driving, I was going to is what I was going to do. That was every bit of my intentions.
So was that gun, I guess, that you used, is that still with you, or was that in the car still?
Yeah.
So what was your plan? I know you said you're gonna, but what was your train of thought? Getting a hotel room?
I was going to.
Did you still plan on doing that at the hotel, or what was the plan?
I just didn't know what I was going to do. I wanted to just be free of this tragedy. Just to go ahead and pay up like Mama did. I didn't mean to kill her. Tell
me about, so there's Gage and Holly. Y'all have some older daughters, don't you?
Yeah, Courtney and Erica.
What's your relationship like with them?
They're aware of how Mama's been.
So that is actually who the kids contacted first.
Yeah.
Was
Erica.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my 31-year-old daughter.
Seemed like she got a good head on her shoulders.
She does. Proud of her.
Mm-hmm.
Real proud of her. Is Gage with her?
Yes, I believe so. I don't know for sure. But
I hope Gage and Holly both wind up with her. I'm sorry. I had to burden my daughter, and my kids had to lose their parents.
well, yeah, they're losing both parents.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holly is suffering beyond comprehension. Therapists say the siblings will likely carry the weight of this secondary trauma for life. Ronald then admits he kept the murder weapon, claiming he planned to end his life, but the detectives suspect it's just another calculated performance of remorse. Just when detectives think he's finished tarnishing Cindy's name, he unleashes yet another wild accusation.
I checked what I've done. I wasn't supposed to be here. Going to the penitentiary is absolutely, I would have chose death over it, but somehow couldn't do it.
Well, you don't seem like the type that would even do what you did, talking to you.
I'm not that type. I think you guys know there was other things involved, drugs.
With you?
With my wife.
With her?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about that.
Anytime somebody crack, you know it's a problem. You know it is. And the thing
was
is
she
yeah.
doing that?
Yeah.
Were you all both doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you all both doing that last night?
Yeah. I've had a problem with it off and on a bunch of times, and I never did. And finally, she got me weak. And my two twins were born. They were born tested positive. And so we...
With it in their system?
Yeah. So, of course, they tested me, and I was absolutely clean because I didn't know dope. I smoked weed, that was it. But I didn't even know she was dirty, you understand? And for your babies to be born with an inner system, this absolutely ain't right. So CPS was immediately involved. And Mama put up a good fight and got clean.
Mm-hmm.
And she stayed clean till, I don't know, she must have started 5 years ago, is all I can know.
Did you all both start 5 years ago, or was you a little bit later after her?
A little bit later, yeah. But she, it's a problem.
You said you all, last 5 years, have fought a lot. I imagine that probably adds to it.
That was that and her having an affair is absolutely what got us where we're at.
Did did police ever get called? Did you ever call police on each other?
Yeah.
How many times do you think that happened?
I called the police one time and had them come in and search the house. Everywhere but the attic. But the thing about that is she was 2 doors down in the neighbor's house. And I went over there too. If there was somebody in the house, he could have made his escape then. You know what I mean? But the possibility was there. But just by her not looking at me and saying, God, honey, it's okay. That's all she had to do. But she like play with my heart, man, and play with my mind. I couldn't even explain it, man. You guys wouldn't understand. bottom line is, regretfully, I'm so sick. I've cried till I can't cry no more.
I can imagine, brother. I can imagine.
We're ruining everybody's lives.
As if accusing Cindy of infidelity wasn't enough, Ronald goes further, branding her a drug addict to smear her character. But detectives know better. Friends and family remember her as a devoted mother and a kind, generous soul. A dedicated nurse, Cindy was committed to her family, the very opposite of the picture Ronald tries to paint. He even claims she toyed with his heart and mind, an accusation she can no longer defend herself against.
Do you remember when you were like putting rounds in the closet and stuff? Do you remember where Gage was at that time?
Gage was standing behind me.
In his room?
Yeah.
Do you remember threatening him that if he didn't tell you where the guy was, you would shoot him?
I told Gage to tell me where he's at, I'm going to shoot him.
Okay.
Yeah, he must have misunderstood me. Yeah, because the way you put it sound like, yeah, no, I never shot to kill my son. I said, tell me where he's at, Gage, I'm going to kill him.
And you can imagine why he said, what he did, because if he's scared and he got a gun and he doesn't have a good answer for you, then so that's why he just said the closet's attic.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I would have never heard Gage in that. Because what happened to Holly is why she got hit. That's why. As soon as I turned around, I don't even remember squeezing. It blurred because I usually wouldn't even have my finger on the trigger yet. So
it looked like, on Cindy, it looked like it was fairly close. Like maybe this close or even closer.
I mean, as soon as I turned around, she was right there.
Okay.
It popped. And I didn't turn around with that intentions.
And then when
she was screaming, man, already, and that was making my situation worse by her acting the way she was.
Do you remember how many times you shot in total? Do you remember was it a revolver? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Was it 38?
Yeah.
Did you have to reload, or did you?
Yeah.
How many times do you think you shot total in the house?
I'm gonna tell you what, this is honest. It's 6 shot, leave 1 shell left in it. Because I was worried about not having that one for myself. And I emptied the rest out of the chamber and left that one in there because I didn't know if I had one. I had one.
Did you empty that chambers out in Gage's room?
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, because there was spent cases.
Yeah, I dropped 6 and then had a speed loader, put 6 more in it.
And then you fired 5 more?
Man, I was terrified if this son was actually up in the attic, that through the vent holes and stuff, and even in the bathroom, where the exhaust fan is, you can see through the attic down into I'm scared to death. At first, in my attic that she's having an affair with, and he knows I got a gun in my house. Why not be brave enough to even be in there unless he does? You know what I mean? So I'm scared to death I'm going to get killed.
Ronald still clings to the idea that he acted in fear for his life, a claim the evidence has already torn apart. He then attempts to convince the detectives that it was Cindy's fault.
Did you see any sign that anybody had even gotten into the attic door? Like, was there any chairs or anything under the attic?
Gage made a comment that they was pulling the ladder up there. Yeah. Gage made that comment. I had a ladder in the garage up in the rafters, but I hadn't noticed it gone. I don't know if it was up there or not. But I was scared to go up in there because I didn't have nothing to get up there. But if he does have a gun and I push that thing open, he's going to dust me. You understand? You guys, that's like when you come to the hotel room a while ago. Y'all don't do it like that because you protect yourself. Yeah, because you can get stolen like that. You know what I'm saying? You put the thing up and he's ready. He's already ready. You know what I mean? He knows where I'm at, but I don't know where he's at.
Yeah. Well,
if
there wasn't anybody up there.
Wasn't no ladder up there.
Well, I got a chair and he pushed me up and I had a door. And, it was not a door, just that piece of wood.
Yeah.
There was nobody up there. I didn't see any ladder.
Okay, the only reason that I ran with that is because Gage said he was up there.
And he probably did say that just because, like I told you, he was trying.
But that's what the problem was. If they would have told me the truth, all Cindy had to do, not my kids, all Cindy had to do was reassure me and make me comfortable. But when a person's comfort don't mean anything to the other side, then I know that's what I'm saying. I should have been gone.
Yeah, Gage did what he did out of fear.
Yeah, and that's understandable with a 12-year-old. But I believed him. What a tragedy.
It is, brother. I mean, Cindy's gone. Holly's in the hospital. Thank God she's still here.
I heard, like I said, when the hotel phone was ringing, woke me up. That's the first time I just went to sleep.
Did you go to the hospital?
Did I go to the hospital? For what?
Didn't know if you went down to try to see Holly or anything like that right after.
Well, I knew I was going to get locked up. I done that, and I done chicken shitted out. I said, I'm going to get some sleep, get some rest, and if they ain't here by then, I'll go to bed. And by God, y'all was there.
Well, I know our officers, me and him, and then these guys that work for this department appreciate that they didn't have to get any kind of standoff situation, and that you were cooperative on
Yeah, I'm
coming out.
not a bad dude, man.
I think you just made some bad choices.
I did. God, it's gone. Trying to live with suffering the rest of my life.
And man, I know that, I don't know the chance that you'll have to talk to the kids, but maybe they'll see a portion of this interview. If you had a chance to talk to them now, what would you tell them?
I'd tell them I am so sorry. Or if I'm engaged more than anything. I'm so sorry this has happened. I feel worse for them than I do for myself, of course. I wish I would have got away from it. I've even had that thought over and over and over and over.
You mean before any of this even happened?
Just because of living with a bleeding heart constantly. The thing is she let me do it.
I'm sure you've heard that saying that love will make you do things you never thought you'd do.
Was Cindy's death a tragic accident or a calculated murder? After his arrest, Ronald Burdette was charged with murder and first-degree assault. His bond was raised to $1 million, with the judge citing him as both a danger to the community and a flight risk. In June 2023, Ronald pleaded guilty, a deal his family accepted to avoid the trauma of trial. On August 17, 2023, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison with no chance of parole for at least 20 years.